Welcome to Tarot Q&A Tuesday. I am streaming from Auckland, New Zealand tonight, and downstairs is a gaggle of girls cooking me dinner, so there might be a bit of banging and crashing while I delay the wine drinking, and I can't wait to join the party. I often, when I work from home, I actually use a lot of candles and crystals around me to help me to keep the energy clean and clear and just move the energy as it comes through, because otherwise I can actually attach with some sort of unhealthy attachment sometimes, and we all kind of get these at times when we're around people with darker energy or toxic energy. So one of the reasons I came to Auckland, actually, I wanted to go and visit the Aura Soma store because it's one of my favorites. I don't know if you guys know about it. So this is actually one of my precious products called Saint Germain. I just use it in my auric field as a transforming vibration. It's actually blended with crystals and color therapy mostly, but also plant essences. It's something that I've actually used for 27 years, believe it or not. There's a complete range of beautiful essences that can be helpful for helping people to be their personal best by working with color and other vibrations. It's quite an advanced product actually, but when I was doing body work, like actual energetic healing before I started reading the tarot, I found it extremely effective for helping people to become more of their true self by being witness to the layers that were blocking them. And we did this by the colors they were drawn to. It's quite amazing. So I thought I'd just mention it today because I went there today, and it's really relevant to the same philosophy that I use tarot for, which is helping people to understand the subconscious blocks that are stopping us all at times from living our dream life, or even knowing what our dream life actually even is. Having a passion or desire sometimes isn't as easy for people to get clear on as you'd think so. And that's why I'm going to launch into your question to start with today, Mel, because your question is actually about what is blocking you from finding love or having love in your life. And this is a reality that we do have these situations where we can lengthen time if we're not aware of the energy that could be blocked or stagnant or needing to be removed from our heart, often in the case of love. I often talk about the heart being like a game of pass the parcel as we go through life. And why I say that is when the music stops, when we play pass the parcel as a kid, we get to unwrap a layer to get to the prize in the center. And that prize in the scheme of life is our heart, is our authentic self, where we naturally attract goodness. And in life, when the music stops, it's actually when life gets a bit shit, right? When the challenges happen, when the shit hits the fan. And that's when the party is not so exciting and we find ourselves going through that challenge. So that metaphor I use with pass the parcel means that as we use those hard challenges in life to strip a layer off by addressing what that challenge is bringing up for us and loving it, like loving the emotion that rises instead of downing ourselves for feeling unfavorable emotions. So I just want to share that with you. It's something I talk a lot about with my clients because my role is in fact to help people to remove those layers around the heart that are blocking the flow of natural good energy of love and abundance, because they act as filters. These layers act as filters, and we see the world through our past conditioning, which are the layers, the experiences, the hurts, the pains, all of that stuff. Does it make sense to you guys? Did you understand what I mean by that? Is it a helpful analogy to think, I want to unwrap my heart and allow my true self to come out? And so I like to use energetic healing, but these products like Aura Soma, this is just one of many of them. I mean, I can tell you more about them later. That one's called Saint Germain. It's fantastic for balancing the masculine and feminine energies and just really changing that stress energy into more... It's got a lot of lavender in actually, which has similar properties with a little bit more of a supercharge, you could say. So I digress, but we are all about Melissa and her love life. So I want to tune into Melissa to work out why it hasn't come sooner. The exact question was, why have I not found love yet? With a emoji. So, Melissa, I'm just going to get into that. Why? Is there a reason? Well, we'll just get we'll start with one card. This is a pack. Okay, Melissa, why have you not found love yet? Okay, so we're going to begin with a right royal doozy of, oh, that lighting is pretty intense tonight, isn't it? This is the 5 of Wands. Now, the Wands are all about passion, creativity. They can also, this card is a 5 as well. 5 is often it's like a seesaw, you know, it's the middle ground. So when it feels yucky, it feels a bit unstable, like a seesaw if you're trying to balance yourself. But this conflict is where it's a big mess and no one's really winning. So it's not a clear answer to what you're asking about, although it does often come up when that's what's going on in your mind. But to give it more clarity and make more sense to your actual question, I'm going to pull another card for you. And so we have quite a contrast here. These are two very opposite cards. Now, can you guys see that? Because the lighting's really crazy here today. This is the most happiest card in the deck. And this is a real conflict within. So this, to me, my instinct just says getting really clear on what makes you happy, or focusing on what makes you happy. And once again, this is, I want to ask you to feel into what that relationship looks like, as well as finding happiness within yourself by panning down the conflict within. Now, let's just talk about what that conflict could be about for you, because really otherwise we are, you know, you're sort of left with in the forest of confusion. Oh, man. Do you know, this I've got a business kind of card here, which I'm just using it to leverage my next moment of inspiration. And for me, I think there's a lot of unsettledness, a seesaw feeling in your work environment that's really a focus point for you. And until there is some more settled vibrations there, you are not grounded. It's not, that is your main focus. Doesn't have to be. This is not necessarily saying you can't have both, but it is saying that where we put our focus, what energy goes where we put our focus is the real example. So that was a question of why have you not? It's kind of like get happy first and then everything will fall into place is the actual answer in short, even though I've spent all this time explaining it in such more exuberant manner. So what I want to do now is just pull you another card about where is it? Is there something you can do is actually the question. Because is there something you can do, not just who you can be happy, but is there something you can do to assist that is really the stop overthinking. This, just the usual card. Don't overanalyze it. Feel into, all you need to focus on is being happy outside of the situation. Feeling good actually makes our vibration an attractive vibration to get stuff back. I'm going to share with you, that's how I got my gorgeous man. He actually came to me when I was feeling my best. Because I'm sorry, I've already actually taken the best guy in the world. So you'll have to have second best, Mel, but it's probably going to be okay.
Does he have any friends?
Well, possibly. So we'll better whiz away. Let's launch straight into the group reading now, because we have talked a little bit more than usual on that. And does that make sense at all, Mel? I mean, do you have any extra questions? You know where I'm going with this?
Totally makes sense. That's kind of how I felt anyway. So, yeah.
Perfect.
Totally. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, such a... Happy vibes attract happy vibes. Love vibes attract love vibes. That's why we always talk about love yourself first and then everything is easy. Let's get into the collective conscious reading. What do we all need to hear today? All of us, including myself. Okay, how many cards? Two cards. We're going to tell a story about this month actually, because this month is about the start of spring. So this is all the new beginnings and everything. Hello, Claire. Hi, Lisa. Hey, Melissa. We're getting some people in the room more so now. So I'd just like to welcome you. And Mel's got her mute off. Let me just see the group reading. Is this 1, 2. Okay, are these the cards? Both of them, sure. Right, surprise, surprise. First card. Here's an interesting message. We're going to keep it really simple today. What we have here is a card of celebration, of connection, of creativity and fun and spending time with friends, being social. The other card is the extreme opposite, is taking time to contemplate one's life, to really be in that stillness and find any missing pieces to your own personal puzzle. Now, when we combine this as a message for today, what I feel instinctively is the opportunity to assess your social environment, who you hang out with. Are these people in your social environment good for you? Are they who you'd like to be more like? Or are they more toxic and actually not feeding your dreams as well? Because what we surround ourselves with, the people, the environment, the stimuli, affects who we are as people and how fast or slow our personal growth and happiness goes. I find a lot of people tend to hang out with people for the sake of company rather than actually hanging out because they have a great connection. And when we hang out in social environments where we don't have a connection, it's just to sort of not be lonely, we actually get more lonely and stop ourselves from having more, living a life that is more deeply connected. A short way of saying this would be to say you're better off to have 5 freaking awesome friends that you absolutely love and relate to, and that you really are, like just bosom buddies, than 55 acquaintances, because people are so busy, they think they haven't got enough time for everything, but they're not stopping to put boundaries up and saying no to a party of someone they don't even have any emotional connection to. So it's really about sitting down and refining, who is it that I'd like to really go and sit down and have a glass of wine or a coffee or hang out or go for a walk? Who do I actually enjoy the company of? Who, when I'm with, I feel good and I feel happy and I find myself laughing and feeling inspired. It's so important. Stop wasting time doing stuff that you don't actually enjoy. Stop and consider. People do this with every part of their life, but this is specific to social life, to fun, to friends, and even family. Do not feel obliged to hang out with family if it's not feeding your soul. I've just done my usual throw the cards on the floor trick, so just grab those. We can't replay Tarot Q&A Tuesday without the cards. Right, now we're going to launch into... actually, drop in the comments. If you're watching YouTube, tell me if this is something that actually gave you a bit of an aha moment. Is it time that you did a bit of a detox, a declutter with your social life, with your friendships? Are you holding on to old friends or new friends for the sake of company instead of connection? That is the question. We are going to whiz into the beautiful Carmen T. She sends me an email. I am hoping, you probably don't need to know this part, I'm hoping to get this tonight, but anyway. I feel like a few things have come to a head for me lately, and I wonder if now is a good time to change jobs. And if what I'm doing is it for me? There's a few words missing, but we got the drift. If I am to change jobs, is now the right time? Thanks heaps, Fiona, and I appreciate you and the fact that you do this for us. Kiss, kiss. Oh, thanks. I appreciate you too. Lots of love, Carmen. Okay, so the question is it a good time to change jobs? Should she change jobs? Is it a good time now to do it if that's the case? 2 questions. We'll just get a yes, no. I'm not feeling it's a good time to change jobs. Just in my chest, it's tight. And, you know, when that tight chest feeling happens, it's usually a no. It's just not really a good time to do. Well, it's a no if you're wanting to ask your own intuition and you're feeling a bit fuzzy. That feeling is a no. That feeling is a yes. Okay, so you can see I'm really feeling quite anxious about the idea of her changing jobs. Now the tarot is probably going to prove me wrong. Okay. Ooh. Okay, I feel really strongly no, but there's I love a good juggle. Okay, World card. Whilst this is a very powerful yes in the scheme of any question, what this is feeling for me is more about finding yourself and then finding the position that you play to serve the world. Why? Because if you leave your job now, you're just going to get another job that's not actually aligned with your time. So now I just want to tune in and go, okay, what is the correct action to find yourself more? Isn't it funny? Because I think I wrote on that quote today in the email, sometimes when we're lost, we just need to be seen, or other people might say, we just need to find ourselves. When we're lost, we are in fact in an opportunity to take a new direction. So therefore, okay, you know, the feeling I get quite strongly, actually, Carmen, is to not have so much responsibility and to actually start taking on an empowered attitude within the role you're in. This means taking no bullshit from no one. Now, I use that term a lot, but what it means is knowing that you are equally as valuable, if not more, well, we're all equally as valuable, but you're not on another rung just because you have a hierarchy at work. We can all still communicate with each other. And this is a sign that there's too much responsibility on your shoulders. See this dude? He is exhausted from the weight on his shoulders. Now that can change purely by setting boundaries about what your description, your description is your job description, what that entails versus what you're doing. And then take the step 1 to find yourself more by going outside of your comfort zone to perhaps alter your position or your responsibilities in your job. That is step 1. I'm going to get step 2 because I've just suddenly got excited about this. I'm like, okay, so what that does is it shifts your energy into more. What does it do? Well, it's a bit like if you're like meek and mild. I can't describe it. I can feel it and show it to you like this. If you're like, okay, yep, I'll do that. I'm not saying you're like this. I know you're not pathetic. You're actually an amazing, beautiful, very, skilled woman. But this is the description versus, yeah, no, that's fine. Although I won't be able to do this because I'll have to do this and this. And that's really the process that I've got to work through. As opposed to, yeah. So it's actually just I want even posture does it, you know, chest open, heart open, shoulders back, head high, not over the top, just in a, and when we're in that space, we actually feel more goddess-like, or that we are happy to be ourselves, empowered, you know. All right, I better rattle my dags here because I've got a few questions to get through. Lisa, do you want to jump on and ask your question live since you're there? Hello, hello. Turn your mute off.
Yes. On. So I want to know why have I suddenly had no communication when I was receiving emails and letters every week, and suddenly I've got nothing?
Fair enough. That's reasonably hurtful from the feeling I'm getting for you. Rejection. I want to jump in here before we pull a card and say, whilst this is not a rejection, whenever there is a feeling of rejection, take a redirection. You know, I learned that off a client the other day and I loved it. I thought, should I like that? That's actually so bang on, eh? It's not a rejection. But in this case, we're going to see what it is. It's not a rejection. But sometimes when we feel rejected, we can take a new perspective of it anyway. So this is where our focus comes into play, because what we're focusing on, what your perception is of the situation, could take you down a rabbit hole of feeling a bit down, right, Lisa? You know, it's easy to accidentally go into the sadness rather than the, oh, well, there must be a reason. I'll let that go. Would you agree?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, Lisa, you sound a bit flat. Okay. Why is the question, right? Lisa. Okay. I'm going to show you this. This is just disappointment and grief, okay? So it doesn't mean... This is just showing us what we've just talked about, feeling. And why? Answers aren't coming so smoothly today, are they? Lisa, what is it? Is there a good reason? Okay. I actually feel that that's how I think he's gone into a bit of that feeling himself, because it isn't really got life's ideal plan where this man is finding himself, and it's not even personal. It's actually nothing to do with you. If you spoke to anyone else that is in contact with him, I'm sure that you'll find that he's in the same situation. So it's not personal to you. I feel he's actually, whilst he won't talk about it, he's not going to own up to the feelings of vulnerability. I think he will eventually, but right now he's kind of been all, bravo, yeah, I've got this, whatever, man, I'm so, the bomb. And that's not actually totally how he feels, and it's a bit of a reality check of what's going on right now. So what can you do about it? Okay, let's just see what the correct action for you to do about this is. Oh, guess, Lisa, I'm going to give you one guess. Just one.
Patience.
Gold! It's hilarious. I'm so mean. I love you, Lisa. I love you. It was so nice to chat to you the other day, even. But I have to laugh, because this is all about patience and divine timing and trusting the process. And you know what I want to do is do a mini course on helping people to trust the process. I thought about this as I was driving to Auckland, because I'm in Auckland at the moment, right? And I just thought, I had these big thoughts while I'm driving. It's probably too much thinking. We're all overthinking it sometimes. However, I was inspired. So some of this was maybe divine ideas coming to me. Who would like to do a course, a mini course, maybe even just a 1-hour workshop on things we can do to help us trust the process rather than finding ourselves fixated on what we want, the end prize? You know, Lisa, there's more to this for you, because it's also encouraging you to... It's funny how we talked about that new direction, because there's something else about your lifestyle that would be beneficial to add in. I want to know what that is. And it's something about you receiving, like, it's kind of annoying me because I can't grasp it. You know how you're always helping other people? I think it needs to be that. Oh, I'm going to have to come back to that. Can I ask a personal question? How you feel? I know that you've done the right thing by being in Melbourne, but are you having second thoughts about it on the occasional day at the moment?
Just every now and again, but honestly, I'm really happy here.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. There's just more. I think it's around the corner. I think just more a bit of a... Ooh. Just quietly. Very intuitive, kind of emotional, creative man. Not necessarily a partner, but I just feel like there's a connection that needs to be had for the sake of having somebody close by who you can just hang out with and be a dick with. That's how I feel. On that note, I'm going to spray. Oh my God, this stuff smells like it's my favourite smell. I love essential oils. I absolutely love essential oils, but this stuff is this beautiful product is actually... It's kind of in between essential oils and perfume. That's my example anyway. I used to use it so ridiculously frequently that my house would constantly smell like this, and everyone would come in and say, whenever they smelt the Aura Soma products, they'd say, "Oh, it smells like Fiona in here." I took it as a complete compliment because it's the best smell in the world. Okay, so we're going to rip into Aaron B's question. Aaron B is all about work. He just asks, is my current employment the right direction? Current employment? I thought you work for yourself, Aaron. So current line of work, I think, is what he's meaning. Oh my gosh. I could have actually answered. I seriously could have answered this. I'm worried about this without actually pulling a card. Erin, oh my goodness, it is the exact line of work. It is totally who you are in this world of being an intuitive man, connecting in with nature, using your hands. I'd like to know why you're asking this. I just feel there's maybe a decision you have to make about something, and it's a bit, sometimes they're even doing stuff we love. We have the dumb stuff to do as well, right? And I'm not sure why you're doing that. It feels... We just get the same cards every week. This dude is lying awake at night because he's overthinking. All of those swords represent thoughts. And if you can see, a couple of those thoughts are going through his head. Those thoughts might be justifiable. And the ones above it are just wasting his time. Look, I'm not hassling you. We'd all do it. We all overthink and keep ourselves awake or disturb our sleep. You know what? Even if you are actually thinking you're getting a good night's sleep, but you're going to bed with negative thoughts, you probably are ruining the potential for your sleep to be even more amazing and healing. I often say, what self-love can't heal or doesn't heal, sleep can. Sleep. Here's a secret for you guys. A bit of a confession from me, actually, which maybe I'm a bit embarrassed about it in hindsight, but I was actually an insomniac for 10 years in my gap area of my life. So I was in natural health and healing. Then I went and did all this crazy shit and burnt out and got back into the wonderful world of spirituality and health and healing. In that 10 years, I was a bloody mess. Adrenal fatigue and oh my goodness. So I know insomnia. And I tell you what, having no energy is no life. You know that anyway, but just sort of throw that in there, guys. Righty, let's see what else we've got here. We've done Melissa. Tanya, let's talk about Tanya. I'm curious to know if there is a greater message or lesson behind a recent disturbance between one of my friends and myself. Well, this happens, doesn't it, you know? Tanya, safe and approach your reading. Tanya. Okay. We just want to know, is there a message or lesson? Is there, we can pull a card. Is this the card? Oh. Interesting. Okay, what we've got here, this would say yes, there is a message. If we just use this card alone, we would talk about going with the flow of the ebb and flow of life and juggling life's highs and lows and just rolling with it. It's just one of those things. So it feels like that's sort of an obvious. I'm going to choose another card for you just to see if we can get maybe a deeper message, because you know that life's full of highs and lows, and that, you know, sometimes you have these things with friendships or partners or family that, you know, you have a bit of a disturbance or a distraction or a kerfuffle or a fiasco, you know, all of those things, right? So what we want to know is what is the deeper, greater purpose or message that Tanya actually could learn herself, or is it just somebody else's stuff? Sometimes we've just got to deal with the fact that people's free will can mess with our tranquility. You know, the patience card did just turn over. I've just put it back because I know you've all had enough of having to be patient about things, but that refers to just maybe well, it's 1 foot in the heaven and 1 foot on the earth as well, interestingly enough. So it is a message to just use your intuition to know what to do about it. I've got the answer for you. Here it is, loud and clear. This is the Queen of Swords. This is your opportunity to say what you feel. Be black and white. Doesn't mean be rude. It means being clear on what you want. See this chick? She is like, I'm an intelligent woman. I know what I'm worth. I am black and white about my thoughts. It's not that I'm closed off. It's more that I am, and I'm speaking on behalf of the character behind this. This means speaking up, being the queen, and owning your stature next to this other person. Just want to tune into this to see if we're on the right track, even on a more deep level. Yes, you can roll with the punches of the situation, absolutely, and know that highs and lows happen. But in the lows, you are allowed to set boundaries. 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 We all need to remember them. There's a bit of a telling off, is it? It's not a telling off. It's a kick up the bum to say you're awesome. Don't be walked over by people that are less conscious than you. One more question, guys. We better fly because, you know, dinner's been cooked downstairs. Lucky me. Can't wait. K. Beautiful KM. We'll end on a love note because we cannot do a session without some romance for us. Tell me about the man I'm going to meet, please. Is he popping up in the next few months? Okay, you know, some of these are really fun to do and we can kind of tune into what sort of character this man might be. So let's see if we can get a personality or something about him, maybe the type of person, maybe just a job or whatever, something that just gives us a bit of, you know, relieves our curiosity while we're trying to practice patience in this world of divine timing. Okay. K. Safe and appropriate reading for K. The best card for her is in this pack. Is it the card? Far out. Like last week, we got these continuous patterns as well. Is he? Okay. Question 2. Before question 1, when you make this transition that you're going through at this time. There's a change. What does that mean? There is a coming out. There is a getting out of the disappointment and sadness and grief of the old and launching into... We've got a lot of polar opposite replies today, which is really all about polarity, understanding that we've talked about this scale, feeling the grief and disappointment, feeling empowered and excited about life, same scale, different volume. You're moving it up to the other scale. So my vibe would be same as Melissa's. Find happiness, then everything will fall into place. Be self-loving, then the love vibration will match yours. Wait, can we find who this person is? Is there someone lined up? There's someone lined up. I don't think they're ready. I'm going to be honest. I feel that they're going through some heartache themselves. So this could take a while. I feel over 12 months, if I'm going to be really honest. But that's because there's so much change going on in your life. And it's time to... It's very similar to the very first message that I gave for all of us, which is to be super clear about who you're hanging out with. And contemplate what you want. Make time for stillness by saying no to people that are not your tribe. Man, these are big, like, life shifts if you guys are going to take them on, right? So I'm going to love you and leave you. Although I just realized when I was explaining why, like, I normally use the candles when I'm at home and crystals, and because I'm not at home, I thought this was actually perfect to talk to you guys about, because you can actually use this color therapy in your own world. What it does, I get really hyped up from doing Tarot Q&A Tuesday. You'd all think there's this crazy extrovert, right? Well, actually, I'm more of an introvert, and I get wired after doing these. And this is just like a breath of fresh air. It's like a big hug in a bottle. That is what it's like. It's a big hug in a bottle. Okay, guys. You are amazing. And it's time to remember that. And get happy first is our big message for the day. And that means to appreciate what we have, not want something we don't.